special. Let all that we are become the life that we share. And let's create a world that's built on our love. Let's create a world that's built on our love.
What's up, people, and
Hi,
welcome
guys.
to another exciting episode of the Marriage is Better Together podcast with Isaac and
Teresa Tarver.
my boo, my baby, my girl. We rocking, we locked in, and we ready for y'all to get this work. Thank y'all for always watching with us.
Isaac.
I always be
You
here.
had some coffee this morning?
Huh?
You had some coffee?
I just love the show.
Oh.
Just love the show.
I love it too, but as
Yeah.
you see.
Now I'm gonna take that, but I'm gonna do that at the very beginning of every episode now because I thought that
Okay.
was kind of dope.
Hey,
I
do
mean, it
you?
was off
You
the
can
cuff,
do-
huh?
You can
Killer
do it,
love.
baby. You can do it.
No, but thank y'all so much for watching again. I'm really in love with this. Like, this is super dope. Somebody walked up to me in church yesterday and was like, I've been watching your podcast and it's really blessing me.
Oh,
I'm
so
like, that's super
sweet.
cool. Like, you know how people just say, oh, I'm watching. I'm like, okay, cool.
Mhm.
Thank y'all watching. You know, she literally detailed which specific episode she was watching. How I wish I knew this 30 years ago.
Oh,
in my marriage. I
wow.
was like, that's super cool. She was like, y'all so young, y'all just so wise. I'm like, God bless you, woman.
We've
God,
been through a
thank you so
lot.
much.
So, God be praised.
So
but-
we just happy that people are watching, people are enjoying, people are being blessed by the podcast. So we're gonna keep it rocking, keep it locking.
Yes.
So
Keep it
make sure to
popping,
follow.
keep it locking.
Yeah.
Okay. If you knock this mic over, I'm just gonna get up.
Make sure to follow us on all social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram,
TikTok. But
yeah,
TikTok is
at Tarver Marriage.
Tarver Marriage.
Everything else is Marriage is Better Together podcast. Make sure to subscribe on this platform, YouTube, so that you can get the notification. Yeah, turn on the notification bell so that you can get notifications as to when we are releasing the podcast. And we just
They
want y'all locked
can
in.
they turn on like a bell or something on the Spotify or Apple Podcast to like be notified?
I think so.
Well, if y'all can, then do. Amen.
Yeah, just subscribe because they'll let you know when it's coming.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that'll be cool. All right, today we want to jump into a discussion on the concept of stewardship.
Right.
As husbands, wives, as a married couple, there are things that are important for us to be intentional about, be considerate of, and some of the things are things that I will say, like, if you're not really thoughtful about it, it's the everyday happenings of life naturally that you won't really take the time to actually say, okay, let me focus here, let me put a plan here, let me do something intentional with this space.
Yeah, I think too, like, intentionality is something that must happen in any area that you want to prioritize.
Truly.
Because there's kind of like this idea of like, things happen naturally or things falling into place. I don't really believe in that. I used to believe like, just go ahead and things are going to fall in place. No, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. I used to hate that saying, like, I'm not planning to fail. I'm just flowing. I'm just
trying to fail.
And this is not saying that there has to be a rigid, regimen around every single aspect. But I would suggest like structure at least around the things that you want to prioritize or that you believe are important.
Yeah, I think like the things that we experience every day, we become very familiar with.
Right.
Like one of the concepts that I learned about in college, learning studying singing and studying voice and stuff like that, was a concept they call intentional breathing. Right. So like just because breathing is a natural concept, we don't think about it when we breathe. We breathe when we talk. We all go throughout the day, take all these breaths and stuff like that, and they help to maintain us. But as a singer, you have to actually learn how to control something that's technically involuntary. Right. And I think that these particular areas we can really just become familiar with them because there's something that's going to happen regardless if we don't actually make these involuntary things very much so controlled.
Yeah.
So like first area that we want to jump into is everybody's favorite topic, finances.
The money.
Right? What's happening with the money? What are we doing with the bread?
Yeah.
Where's it going? Like, me and Teresa, like God has really blessed us to be able to do what we want, get things that we want most times, go where we want, as long as somebody watch the kids. And we really haven't, like, we've never really been in a space where it's just like, okay, we can't, what we supposed to do. And like at a point in our marriage, it was just like, We got it, spend it.
Yeah, after the bills was paid, it was up.
Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no consideration of what happens with the excess. No
Mhm.
consideration of what happens with the overage, like you said, after the bills was covered. Once they knew the regular living was, everything else was just free money.
Mhm.
And we got to a point where we realized that playing the free money game wasn't really putting us in a position to be able to live the optimum of how we wanted to live or what the experiences that we wanted to experience.
Mhm.
So like when we would, get to the point where we were like, okay, cool, let's go on a trip. It's like, okay, now because we decided we want to go on a trip, now I got a plan to start putting money around what a trip looks like.
Right. Instead of beforehand planning for a trip and putting a little away at a time. So it's like, okay, I know that I'm going to want to go on a trip eventually. So let's be planning for that.
Or even if I'm not planning for a trip, just being considerate about putting something to the side for whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because we had our little savings account pot, our emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
And so after the bills was paid in the emergency fund,
we eating heavy, we going out. We kicking.
I'm not cooking at all.
Like it's up and stuck, especially when by the time we got to 4 kids, man, we were run that fast food budget like smacking the ground. Like
we have a fast food budget now,
and run past it. That it's a budget, but there wasn't no limit on that. We was we were just spending that money, and it's because we did not really consider that stewarding your finances is really one of the most important things that you could do as a husband and a wife, as a family, like properly stewarding your finances, like literally, like, yes, pay the bills. Yes, put a savings to the side, right? But that rest of that money should probably have somewhere to go as well.
Yeah. And like a real purpose, because you can get frivolous with spending, especially depending on like your spending type. To like, okay, if it's extra money, and I want this pair of shoes, then I'm the type that I would go and buy 3 pair of them and then like only wear 1.
Right.
So it's like being intentional about where could this money go that it could really serve me. Because it's like, that's the difference between us being able to have this type of date experience versus a different type of date experience. Because a couple of pair of shoes, now we can go out the country instead of going to State 48. Right. You know what I mean?
I love what you just said. Like, what can we do with this money so that this money can actually serve? And now serving in and of itself can span across a lot of different worlds. Right? So there were like, God literally instructed us what to do with our money. Right? Okay.
When we asked.
Yes. When we finally asked. He was like, hey, I need you to do this, put this to the side, right? So God would tell us, take this amount and put it up. And we would trust him in that. Take this amount and put it up. And then a time came where some of our family members were in a situation, and it was a financial situation that they really needed help in, right? And at that point, now we are in the position to be able to serve in that way. Like, I would have felt crazy, like knowing, like, if we were just not even in the position to be able to help out, like that would have blew me. Like,
it's like I had the money, but where did it go? Yeah,
right. Just because you just never know, and that's one of the things that, like, from a Christian marriage perspective, right? We have to be intentional about what is God instructing us to do with our money.
Yes. And I want to say this too. When you add God into the money, I think the first thing that comes to mind is, we give offering, we pay tithes. Tithing is not a financial plan.
It's not.
And I don't mean that tithing is not, you set into motion the universal law of sowing and reaping. When you sow bountifully, you reap bountifully. We know all the scriptures of what the words say about tithing. And yes, it is a good thing. And giving offerings, it is a great thing. But it is not your family's financial plan. Because I will say this. I believe that there was a time in life where it was like, I don't gotta really save because I pay tithe. Like I drop, my 10% plus some on God. So when I'm in a crunch, he gonna come through. And it's like, it's not an obligation of God to pay to get my, my oil changed or whatever, tune up, because that's what I would be needing all the time. Tune up on my car, but didn't have the money saved for it.
Right.
But then looking at it like, I gave my tithe, so I'm gonna be straight, but didn't have a financial plan.
Yep, and we put ourselves in a position where now we're looking upside God here when I need something in the moment, and God ain't responding in that moment. Because now the thing that has to be considered with the tithing concept is that seed, the time.
and then the harvest.
The time is something that you don't have control of.
Right.
So what are you supposed to do when in that time where you're waiting on the harvest to come up from what you sowed? Like when something happens during that time, what are you supposed to do?
And what about if the harvest don't come up in money? Because I can drop stacks on my tithes, but it could come up in a friendship. I could reap in favor.
Yeah.
I could reap in help, whatever.
Yeah. It could come up in an opportunity that produces money over time.
Yeah.
But that don't necessarily mean like, okay, I sold 500, into the church, and in 3 weeks I'm gonna get 500 back,
right?
Or I'm gonna get 5,000 back, whatever the case is. Like the thing about it is this: you don't have the ability to determine how it's coming back to you,
right?
So that being the case, you got to plan.
You have to plan, and it's just wisdom. It's godly wisdom to plan. To make a financial plan, like where your money is going, what your money is doing. And then I think like when you think of in that mindset, as far as the marriage is concerned, it keeps down stress.
It does.
It keeps down unnecessary worry and concern about how you're going to be able to do certain things, or have certain experiences that you may want to have, or being able to take care of things in the marriage. Like, yes, a marriage with a lot of romance, but like you can do free things, you can do low cost things, but being able to splurge on a date is something that you can plan to do.
Absolutely.
Instead of saying, well, we don't really have a whole lot of money. So that means you can go on 14 $5 dates instead of 14 $10 dates, and save that money up 14 times to go and do something, that will give you a different type of memory with your spouse, or a different type of experience.
All them 14s and just put them to the side for later. Okay. Y'all go sit on the couch and hold hands.
Go to the park
and count it all.
And eat your turkey sandwiches.
Sit on that porch and watch people walk past.
Yeah.
And talk about it real bad the whole time.
Isaac is a people watcher.
But like we were watching something where they were talking about it was like either on Instagram or something like that, where they were talking about how they had to flip their mindset around like their dating, which is taking us into our next point, which is like being a proper steward over your time.
Yeah.
Right. They had to flip their mindset around on their dating, right? Because this was a couple who was in ministry and they were doing ministry and stuff like that. So like most of the time when somebody could come and get their kids, they were usually somewhere, counseling a couple or something like that. And then when they looked up, they were like, we feel like we're not dating, when they just had to flip the mindset to understand, hey, how about every time we go out to counsel one of these couples at these restaurants, that we consider this as us spending time together?
Yeah.
Like we're spending time, we vibe, and yes, somebody else is benefiting off of it. But this is an opportunity for us. We talk about our story, we talk about our life, we talk about our marriage, we get to reminisce on our good days and our good times. And because that's the case, we're really keeping our love right in front of each other. But if you just look at that as, we just helping out this couple, then you can miss that this is actually an opportunity for you to be really romantically involved with each other. So sometimes it's really just how you look at the time that you're spending that will really give you a greater benefit. Like we have to start asking ourselves as couples, what are we doing? As married couples, what are we doing with our time? Like, where is our time going? Are we properly using it, properly managing it? Like, are we getting the best out of our time?
And I think too, like on the dating side of that, like, because we've done that, we've been guilty of, we're not guilty, I guess, like using our childcare to go do ministry. And it's like, that is good, it's admirable, but sometimes we do need that alone time where it's just us. So it's like, maybe we need to start to steward our time in a way where we allot and plan a certain amount of time to go to ministry, and then plan a certain amount of time of, alone time where it's like, okay, well, I can take 3 couples this month and I can only take 1 next month because I got to plan out how much time I'm spending doing this where it's involving other people, and then how much time I'm actually dedicating to alone, just one-on-one time where you can really reconnect. And whatever that looks like for you, it could look like something different, but not planning it, you'll look up, because in every day will be filled with somebody else.
Yeah. Or something else. Now I want to talk for a moment. Y'all look right at me in my eye. I want to talk to my scrollers. Okay. I only want to talk to y'all because I won.
Yes, he is. Well, recovering. You a recovering
There you go.
stroller.
There you go. Thank you. We have to be sure that we're not getting lost in these phones, y'all. Like this time, like we're giving time, like looking at the world, and social media literally brings the whole world right to your house, and you know what everybody got going on, and you find out what's going on in the government and at granny house all at the same time, just with one swipe. And that's cool and all, but it will become time consuming.
Yeah.
And you'll look up and there'll be things that you could have done that would have been far more lucrative, far more beneficial, far more helpful just to life in general.
Yeah.
That time would have been a better investment in. And because you like social media, if you let it, it can really like feel like the time of your life. It really feel like a real experience.
I mean, right? It is an experience.
Like you literally are in everybody's world all at once. You can get on social media and watch a roller coaster drop, and you feel like you're sitting right there.
Yeah. I mean, because of the nature of it, it is something that you gotta be cognizant of to a lot. Like I put social media times in place. Like there is a time, and usually it's like 20 minute increments, because I'm a researcher. I will get lost. I will look up and have been on my phone, maybe not necessarily scrolling, but I'm in medical journals. I done been in the mental health journals reading scholar papers on my phone for an hour and a half, and haven't even had a conversation with nobody in my house. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's time for that. But I think like not allotting time to say, okay, how much time am I going to give to scrolling or research? How much time am I going to give to my spouse today? How much time am I intentionally planning on spending with my kids, with my friends? I think this is where the cultivation of relationships go wrong. When a person get married, it's really not so much that they switching up and they changing for the most part, is that they're not being wise stewards over their time. And so after I done spent all my time at work, and then I done spent all my time scrolling, now when my friends want to kick it, I gotta dedicate time to my husband because I wasn't wise with the time that I had. Now my friends think I'm acting funny and don't have time for them. And it's like, well, I really don't have, I'm stretched thin now, but it's because I'm not wise with my idle time.
Yeah. And we for us, because our world and opportunities have given us a flex to our life, it can become very easy for us to,
the entrepreneurial lifestyle. It's a temptation to let every day be unstructured.
Just like let things just be super flow, super go with the moment, whatever's happening, and you kind of almost get away from thinking about what can I really be doing with this hour. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got on the entrepreneurial side of things, it's like I got the next hour.
Yeah, I don't gotta go sleep. Like, I don't gotta get up at 6 o'clock.
I don't have, so
I can,
but even people who have those time restraints have to be considerate of what happens with the time after.
Yeah, but you know what the crazy thing about that, because like being an entrepreneurial, actually. Y'all forgive me. Being an entrepreneur and having friends who are entrepreneurs themselves, but then also people who work 9 to 5. Yeah. You make time for what you want to make time for. Because I know people who clock hit the clock, and baby, they be having more free time than me. They be doing what they want to do. But I do think like having the structure, having the structure or not having the structure, it really comes down to intentionality and planning.
It does.
Because whether you have free time or have that flow state of your life from your job or your household structure, because being a stay-at-home mom, it is a lot of work from home mom. Amen. I have the ability to dictate what my schedule looks like, but I do always find time to go and do my hair. I always find time to, do the things that I want to do. But then I actually had to sit down and say, okay, what is important? So I think that's where it comes down for time. Naming the things that are important and then prioritizing those, and maybe letting some of those less important things take a back seat. Or those can be the subjective things. Dating can never be one of those things. As a married couple that you say, oh, we'll figure it out. If you got to pencil it in, like when you scheduling your hair appointment, your nail appointment, your haircut, you scheduling time to go to church, you scheduling time to go to sleep, the dates have to be scheduled. They have to be on the prioritize. I can't talk today.
On the
prioritizement of the guysments. Amen. Of the time for you this night. Right. Okay. So you have to prioritize the things that are important, or you have the ability for them to not be prioritized and not be of the important, and they're gonna slip.
It's gonna get away from you. And like I'm trying to tell y'all, if you are not intentional, if you are not considerate, if you are not careful with these concepts, they will almost cease to exist until you realize how much you really need them.
Yes. So that brings us to our last point. Intimacy. It's one of those things. It's like, okay, we married. Let's say this is a couple who they like each other. They're attracted to each other. They want to have sex with each other, but they find themselves not having sex. It's because it's not prioritized. We're not like everybody walking around, and we have had so many couples and have been there ourselves, walking around hot, bothered, upset, frustrated, and realize, dang, we ain't had sex this week.
Right.
But I wanted to. It's something I wanted to do. It's something he wanted to thought about it, but did not make a plan for it.
A lot of time.
And it's like when you have things going on, can it just happen itself, like spontaneously? It could. But who wants to leave something as important as intimacy to a could?
Yes,
something
that just a
impacts
possibility.
you,
To a possibility. When you could make time for and plan for a real experience.
Yeah.
Like what we tell people when y'all probably heard this across podcasts, plan that sex and let the rest be the rest. Meaning have a day or two in your schedule where you have planned to have sex and be intimate, and let the spontaneity spice up the rest. Like let the quickies come. But if them quickies don't happen, we're gonna have some sex this week because we've already put things in place for us to be able to encounter each other in that way.
Yeah.
But if you don't plan, you planning to fail. Like you literally putting yourself in position to look up and it be 1 week, and depending on how busy you are, how busy your life is, you will look up and it be 2-3 weeks.
And don't let something be going on. Like having children changes that.
Yeah.
Having a certain family structure changes that. Being in ministry changes that. Having a demanding job, or like just the seasons, like holiday season.
Heavily.
Yeah.
Ministry super heavily. Because ministry is almost like, almost don't have a schedule to it, really.
Well, depending on what type of ministry you're doing, because some of the things they cut it off.
About your Sunday morning and stuff like that, but then when you especially for a lot of pastors and stuff, you don't know when that parishioner is going to have a life situation come up. You don't know when it's a fire that needs to be put out at the church, figuratively, right? So you can't schedule those things. You can't plan for those things. So you right there in the heat of passion at home, and then there's a fire at the church.
You say, hold on, what are you, Lord, bless this fire that we do a thing.
Right? But then the expectation of the people is that you show up for these situations when you in ministry in that way. And to all of the ministers out there, you have to be intentional about planning these moments, preparing and putting in your schedule that time to be intimate with your spouse so that it does not get lost in the everyday happenings.
Yeah. I think too, planning allows you to be able to identify boundaries, because based on what you was just saying, if I have planned out my week, then I know what fires I can arrive to and which ones I can't, and some that needs to be delegated, or some just need to be, bless you God, amen, because I don't have the capacity to answer every thing that could pop up. But if I'm not intentional with my time, and I'm not planning my life, and I'm not planning the things that I can plan, when the unexpected come up, I don't really know even what I'm available for. I remember we had a situation. We were not good planners at all. And Isaac had hit me up and was like, I threw this extra rehearsal in there. And I'm like, we got doctor's appointments for the kids. And so he ended up having to cancel the rehearsal because of our failure to plan out what the week actually was going to look like. He overbooked, And I'm like, I'm not going to the doctor by myself with 4 kids. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he wasn't even able to really set out what needed to happen. And I know like a lot of technology has helped a lot of people get on the same track. But if you have been stalling with that, because we stalled for years, on like getting a digital calendar, getting something where everything is, they have now, I want to get for the house, like those, like it's chore chart, but it's also the thing that plans out your life. Being able to plan out your life, to be intentional about where your time is going, where your money is going, where your attention is going.
Yeah.
It just helps to make life easier. It
Yeah.
keeps down arguments. It keeps down misunderstandings. It keeps down disappointments in your marriage. And it just overall, it's a wise thing to do. Like I used to think, and I don't know if it's just me, I used to think that planning was for old people. Like, I'm not old. I got a young man. I'm here. I'm there. You know, I'm moving and shaking. I got enough, you know, bandwidth to be able to figure something out from one moment to the next. But it's like, it's not about the bandwidth to do it, or the capacity or the thought process or the mental clarity to be able to do it. It's about writing the vision and making it plain.
Yeah.
And that does just not apply to life plans. It applies to your schedule. It applies to where you want to be intentional. Because if you don't practice these things, then you won't ever master them.
Absolutely.
And I do believe that in marriages, there are places of mastery that we can reach, you know, and people always love to throw out there. I'm ranting now. I'm just letting y'all know. Oh, you know, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. It's not about perfection, but you can master something. Like if you think about the concept of somebody getting a master's degree in any subject in school, right? And then we allow these people to go on and get doctorates, so much so that they are performing surgeries and giving prescriptions and treating people medically after they have reached a place of doctorate status, right? Does that mean that every person with a doctor's degree, or that people who have doctor's degree don't make mistakes? No, they're not perfect, but we have dedicated a certain level of mastery to this subject and to these things. And it's like, if we can master our money, if we can master our intimacy, if we can master our intentionality with our time, then that can put us in master's and doctor status in our marriage. So no, I'm not perfect. But when I tell you I got my PhD in Isaac Tarver, I do.
I have my PhD in Teresa as well.
You know, but I do think that we can reach the point where we are doctors,
right,
in our marriage.
And we should be. We should be that studied in our life, in our experience, in our relationship. We should be that studied, and we should have that much time and intentionality put in, so that we're able to be the best stewards. Because the thing is, the other thing about really being intentional about these spaces is when we really have these things in place the way that they should be, then we actually get to figure out what more we have the ability to do. Like putting things in proper context gives you the ability to actually know how much more I can actually handle, or how much more I actually have room for. A lot of us find ourselves drowning because the things that we already have in our hands, we've not done a good job of doing of stewarding it well, right? Well, the Bible talks about the talents that was given to the men, right? They were given, everybody was given these different measures of talents, or given this different amount of talents, and the question was, what did you do with it? And based on when the giver came back to see what you did with the talents, based on what you had done with it, determined how much more you got.
Right.
So if you weren't intentional and you just say, okay, I'm gonna just put this over here and we're just gonna let it be what it is, then that's going to prove, okay, you don't got more, you don't have room for more. You don't have the mindset for you to actually be able to pour more into you, or for your life to be able to take on a heavier load. So what you want to be able to do is make sure that you can look at what you're doing with your finances, look at what you're doing with your time, looking at what you're doing with your intimate space, and say, okay, this is where it needs to be. It's in the space that it needs to be in. It is working the way that it should be working, right? And now I can say, okay, cool. All right, what more can I give space to? Can I give, like, how much more time can I give to the kids? How much more time can I give to work? How much more time can I give to my entrepreneurship? How much more time can I do X, Y, and Z? Because the things that matter are in place and are taken care of well. So just a couple of important things to look at. And you may have more things on your list. Like if you have a couple of other areas that you really feel like it is highly important to be great stewards of these areas, put them in the comments.
Yeah.
Drop them down in the comments. We would love to hear from you. There are so many more areas, and we just wanted to touch on these 3 just as super highlight areas or whatever to just to encourage you to really pour into, be intentional about, and make sure our at the top of your mind always for your marriage.
So we being the good stewards.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah. So
tell them about the pattern. You forgot to talk about that in
the pattern marriage is no. The pattern marriage is our marriage coaching program that we have available for all who are looking to strengthen their marriage, for those who are thinking about going into marriage, those who are engaged, looking for premarital counseling, coaching.
Yeah.
We are available to help in any way that we absolutely can. So if you are interested, I'm gonna put a flyer on here somewhere.
Really?
If you're interested, yeah.
We do marriage mapping as well. So it's about coming up with a plan for stewardship, kind of about this conversation is what made me think about it. The direction that you want your marriage or your relationship to go in. We also do compatibility.
We do. If you're dating, you're dating and you want to see, okay, this seems like it's going somewhere. Y'all want to sit down, we can sit down, talk, we can look at different aspects, different things that are important for marriage that you might not necessarily know, the areas need to be worked on. We can tell you,
and we're gonna let you know, listen, stay in this thing, go to the long haul, or don't waste no more time, for real. We're gonna be honest with y'all too. So if you're interested in that, we hope that you connect with us.
Absolutely. You can reach out to us via email at thepatternmarriage@gmail.com. You can send us an email and just say, hey, I heard about the pattern marriage on the podcast. I'm interested. And then we will send you information on how you can sign up, next steps and things of that nature.
Yes.
All right. Cool. So, babe, why do you love me?
I love you because we relocated our puppy. He was in our room. He's been in our room since we got him. And he just be whining sometimes, like when he want to get out. And I was just like, we don't have a baby right now, so I don't want to have a baby. And then we have a baby, I had another baby. So we moved him to the living room, and Isaac turned the light on for him so he wouldn't be lonely or feel like, in complete darkness. And I just thought that was so sweet. And I'm like, oh, my baby cares about the animal.
Thought that was considerate.
Yeah, he cares about the baby animal. Tanichi be giving Isaac a run for his money.
We're going to see how the light bill looks.
He really acts like a bad baby. So Isaac has really been patient with him.
We're going to see what Carmen say about this generosity.
Look, it ain't going to be no different than the kids. Since they be wake up and every night in the house will be on. Like, what did y'all do while we were asleep? That's y'all business. Yeah. Amen. Babe, why you love me?
I love you because you just bring a lot of light to every moment of my world.
Aww.
I really enjoy spending time with you, being around you, looking at your beautiful face, and holding hands, and all of those things. So this is the Marriage is Better Together podcast with Isaac and
Teresa Tarver,
where we with our life
and all of our experiences show you why two is definitely better than one.
We'll see y'all next week.